We're in open session, Your Honors.
Witness, welcome back. We are now in public session, so we cannot discuss certain things too much, but we are aware of the situation with you and the victims justice unit, and we're keeping all that in mind. Mr. Kigen-Katwa will continue his examination of you, and we will be watching to see how you feel. If there is any difficulty, please at some point let us know. All right? Mr. Kigen-Katwa, please proceed.
Witness, yesterday you said that your recollection was that when you said Sang said Kwekwe, said Bunyat, and said Kamama, he said that someday from 10th of January onwards, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, witness, I want to remind you what you said on Thursday, the 6th of March 2014. And this is what you said. That is transcript number 100, page 10 to 17. You said this, witness. The question that was put to you is, witness, sorry, I will repeat the question. Can you recall what days or around what time of the year you heard Mr. Sang talking about this? And the answer was this. It was in 2008, in February 2008. If my recollection is correct, I think it is the month of February, but I do not remember the exact date. In any event, it was 2008. Do you recall that, witness?
Do you?
Now, in addition to that question having been asked to you, witness, you recall that yesterday I asked you whether you listened to KAS FM in February, and you confirmed that indeed you listened to KAS FM in February 2008.
Do you?
Now, I want to take you through a couple of records of what Sang broadcasted in February, and then I'll ask you if you recall having heard those ones, considering that you listened to KAS FM in February. Your Honor, the first one I wish to have is BBC summary of 4th of February 2008. It is at tab. It's in the smaller binder, Mr. President, tab 5, and it is reference is OTP-0048-0142 to 0145. The main reference of all the BBC summaries was EPD-T-D11-00009 as an exhibit for Sang case.
So it's already exhibit 9?
Yes, it is an exhibit, Sang's exhibit. Mr. President, so that I can move fast, I'll request to give the witness one copy and just read a small section of it and ask the witness. Now, witness, I request that you see the middle of the page where it is marked, the word K is missing, but it is Kenya Vernacular Radio laments breakdown of law, order. Can you see that, witness? For the rest of the code, that is in Ken-OTB-0048-0142. Can you see that, witness? Witness, can you see what I've just shown you? The highlighted part in the middle of the page, Kenyan Vernacular Radio laments breakdown of law, order. Can you see that, witness?
Nakiona ndio.
Now, witness, I read the summary of what BBC says they heard Sang say. A Kenyan vernacular radio has lamented the social breakdown in the country and called for a return to law and order. In its morning talk show program, the presenter Joshua Arap Sang asked listeners to give their thoughts on how the country could return to peace. The following are excerpts from the program broadcast by Kalenjin language privately owned Kass FM radio on 4th February. You can see that, witness.
Nimeona.
Now, witness, I will read only one paragraph at the bottom of that page, which starts with, let me start with the social aspect. Can you see that, witness, so that we can follow? I will read slowly for you.
Nakiona ndio.
Now, witness, this is what Sang says, is quoted verbatim. Let me start with the social aspect. Kenya is a country that consists of 42 tribes. Among them are the Kalenjin. Socially, the Kalenjin and all Kenyans have laws to respect. We have failed socially as Kenyans. We have killed each other. A cultural rule, for example, in the Kalenjin culture, is that it is wrong to kill women and children no matter what. But how many women and children have been killed? This shows there is social breakdown in Kenya, not only among the Kalenjin, but all over the country. When leaders try to talk to their people, they will not listen and are determined to chase away other tribes if they are fine socially. We allow the economy and politics to continue well. If all the wheels of car are flat or absent, though the steering and the engine are working, the car will not move. There is no respect for life anymore. Others have burned people, others cutting, and some have been shot by the police. Can you see that, witness?
Ndio, nimeona.
Now, witness, that is an audio of 4th of February 2008, and this is the same February that you said you used to listen to Sang. Could you confirm if you had this broadcast from Mr. Sang?
Kwa muda mchache sana.
So you confirm having heard that from Mr. Sang, isn't it?
Sikusikia mimi.
Now, I want to take you to the next audio, which is an audio of 31st January 2008. And Your Honor, that is OTP dash.
1 second.
Sorry to interrupt, Your Honours. My understanding is that the last question was slightly misinterpreted. So it was actually, did you hear Mr. Sang at this time? And then the answer is very briefly. So she wasn't actually answering whether she heard that specific broadcast. There was a slight crossover in the interpretation.
Mr. President, should I put the question again to the witness?
That would be advisable.
I will ask the question the way the prosecution have understood it. Witness, did you say you listened to Mr. Sang very briefly on the 4th of February 2008?
Nafikiria nilikuambia tarehe 4 sikumsikiza. Sijui mambo kama kuna, I think hata kwa statement yangu hakuna mahali nimesema nilimsikiza tarehe 4.
Okay, witness. Okay. Now the next summary from the BBC that I want to make reference to is 31st. Witness, in your testimony you had said that you didn't listen to the 4th of January 2008. I understood you to have said that. The question I'm putting to you is in respect to 4th of February. That's 1 month afterwards. Did you listen to Kass FM on the 4th of February?
La.
Now, witness, I want to take you to a summary of 31st January 2008, end of January. And the reference is OTP-0048-0136 to 0139. May I request to give a copy to the witness? Now, witness, can you see in the middle of the page in italics writing to the effect, source, CAS FM, Nairobi, in Kalenjin 0400 GMT, 30th January 2008. Can you see that, witness?
Ndio.
And you can see BBC Monday AFI. You can see BBC, isn't it?
Ndio.
Now I will. I'm sorry for the overlap. Witness, I will read the first paragraph, the first few lines of the second paragraph, and the second paragraph in the second page. The first paragraph and the first part of the second paragraph that I wish to read on the first page is Ken-OTP-0048-0136. Witness, this is what it says. Kenya's CAS FM, which broadcasts in Kalenjin vernacular, on 31st January, hosted opposition Orange Democratic Movement MP Isaac Ruto, who called for peace and urged the Kalenjin to be careful not to be blamed for genocide. The presenter was Joshua Arap Sang. Following is the text of the interview. Subheadings inserted editorially. Presenter. Yesterday, more than 100 members of parliament from various parties met in search for peace. We understand that meetings like the one you had yesterday have been going on. Can you shed some light on the talks you have been having as MPs? And then the answer from Isaac Ruto is this. It is time for all of us as Kenyans to come together and talk because we are not happy when there is fighting everywhere. You can see that, witness.
Nimeona ndio.
Now, witness, I will very kindly request you to turn over the page, the next page, and I will want to start with the second line marked presenter just above the second paragraph. If you could, if the court officer could assist you. The reference is Ken-OTP-0048-0137. Now, witness, this is what Mr. Sang says in the next page where you've just been shown. Annan emphasized peace first, but when people are beginning to calm down in some areas, violence is erupting in other areas. As leaders, what are you doing to stop this? And Mr. Ruto's answer is this. We also want peace because we also want peace first because it is hard to talk when people are fighting. That is why all MPs have come together. We have been talking for 3 days. We are continuing. We plan to form groups to visit different areas and talk to people. We know that as people flee from their homes, their people get angry and start fighting. We know it is painful, but we thank people for persevering. Although we know people have been offended, let us maintain peace so that the main issue can be dealt with. You can see that, witness.
Ndio.
Now, I apologize again for the offer. Now, witness, in your statement of Thursday last week on 6th of March 2014, at page 11, line 15 to 17, this is, I'll just read from 10 to 17 again. Witness, I'm sorry, I'll repeat the question. Can you recall what days or around what time of the year you heard Mr. Sang talking about this? And the answer was it was in 2008, in the month of February, if my recollection is correct. I think it was the month of February, but I do not remember the exact date. In any event, and this is my emphasis, in any event, it was 2008, towards the end of January or early February, if I am not mistaken. Witness, you recall saying that, isn't it?
Ndio.
Now, witness, this audio, as BBC has indicated, was broadcasted by Mr. Sang on the 31st January 2008. Did you listen to Kass FM on the 31st January 2008?
Rudia swali.
My question is very simply, did you listen to Kass FM on the 31st of January 2008, witness?
La.
Now, witness, I will take you to a different broadcast made in February, and this was witness, I will take you back one day, that is on 30th of January 2008. We just looked at 31st. And this is in Ken-OTP-0048-0133. And with the assistance of the court officer, I'll request that the document be shown to the witness. Your Honor, may I apologize? I have actually given the wrong reference. The reference should be Ken-OTB-0048-0135. Now, witness, at the bottom of that page, you can see at the bottom, Kenya Vernacular Radio calls for help for victims of violence. Can you see that, witness?
Napaona ndio.
Now, according to BBC, this is what they heard Sang say on the 30th of January 2008. On 30th of January, Kalenjin Language Radio, Kass FM, stressed the need to assist the victims of violence and encourage those in need to seek help. The presenter Joshua Arap Sang and Arap Tanui in the morning show 0400 to 0600 GMT urged the listeners to help those who need help as a result of displacement. They named centers all over the country where well-wishers could drop their donations in form of food, clothes, water, and any other essential items. They, however, warned listeners not to be tricked by people intent on defrauding. You can see that, witness.
Mekiona.
have two questions to ask you on this witness. The first one is, did you listen to this audio of the 30th January 2008?
La.
Now, the second question I want to put to you is that you can see that it is indicated that the presenters are Joshua Arap Sang and Arap Tanu. You can see that.
Ndio.
You recall, witness, that you had said yourself that Mr. Sang never co-hosted his program with anybody else. Do you remember having said that, witness?
Ndio.
Secondly, witness, you've seen that the program used to run from 4:00 to 6:00 GMT. You can see the timings in brackets there.
Ndio.
Now, I apologize for the overlap. Witness, I put it to you that you never used to listen to KAS FM, and that if you used to listen to KAS FM, you would have known that the program used to run from 6:00 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning of the week, not 8 to 9, as you said in your testimony, on every day of the week.
La.
Witness, I also put it to you that you never used to listen to KAS FM, because if you listened to KAS FM, you would have known that Sang used to co-host the program with various people, including Arap Tanul, who BBC confirms was co-hosting this program on 30th January 2008. One of the days you say you heard Sang talk of Kwekwe, Bunyot, and Kamama, according to your statement at page 11, transcript number 100.
Rudia kwa swali lako.
Witness, you already confirmed that you told the prosecution on the Thursday, the 6th of March 2014, that you had Sang use those incitement words including Kwekwe, Bunyot, and Kamama in the period end of January or early February. You recall saying that, witness?
Ndio.
And witness, I have shown you recordings by KAS FM variously on 31st January, 30th January, and 4th February, and you are unable to recognize any of them. And the reason I put it to you, witness, is that you never used to listen to KAS FM, and that you just concocted a story against Mr. Sang, whom you clearly dislike.
Hapana, na naweza kufafanua.
I will ask you to explain when I need you to explain it.
Oh, she can explain now. That's the point of putting it to witnesses. It's not an empty exercise. A witness, if you have anything to explain, you can briefly do so.
Ndio. In 2008 January, mwisho hii 31st 2008, wakati huo vita za North Rift zilikuwa zimeisha. Kulikuwa kumebaki sehemu chache sana ambapo watu walikuja kutoka kwa mashamba zao. Vita ilikuwa imeisha. In that 2008, una quote hapa 2008 February mwisho, hatukuwa na watu walikuwa within North Rift, walikuwa bado wanapigwa. In that 2008 mwezi wa pili, it's when mbunge wa Ainap Moi aliuawa Eldoret. In that 2008, just a minute, wacha nimalize, alafu utaendelea because unanichanganya.
1 second.
Yeah.
You were finished.
No.
Oh, wait.
Sijamaliza.
1 second. Don't worry, I'm not stopping you. You will finish. But Mr. KenyaMOJA was...
Yes.
What was the...
I request to be heard on this issue, Mr. President.
Yes.
I have... Mr. President, I've asked a very specific question on 3 issues. The first one is whether the witness listened to the radio Kass FM in the period end of January to February, as she said in her testimony. I have put material to her to show that people other than Mr. Sang have confirmed that in fact he said what we have read out into the transcript. And the question I'm merely putting to the witness is that if it is true she used to listen to the station, then she would have heard these things. She would have heard that Sang preached to peace. She would have heard that Sang used to co-host a program with somebody else. She would have heard that the times of the program were different from the time she was saying. That's all I'm putting to the witness. Mr. President, I am opposed to a situation where the witness is given an opportunity to start going all over the place, completely off tangent from the issue that was put to her. I do not mind her having to explain, Mr. President, as you have exercised your discretion to allow to explain, but she should be focused on the relevant aspect of what has been put to her. That's all I'm requesting, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. KenyaMOJA. As I indicated earlier, the reason why propositions are put to witnesses in cross-examination is to allow them an opportunity to explain, so that later on, when the counsel who have put the proposition make their submission, the system would have treated the witness fairly. Now, you have put propositions to the witness, including the proposition that she came to the court and concocted evidence against Mr. Sang, whom she does not like. That was a put. She's entitled to explain herself. It's not a matter of discretion, it's a matter of fairness to the witness. So she will continue, and it is for us to make the determination if she is off tangent. We are mindful of that, and we will bring her back in. So let her finish. Go on, madam. As I said, make it brief. So far, you've already said something, and the record has captured what you said. Do not repeat those things. If you have anything else to finish, can you do so briefly?
Okay. Ndio nimesema in that 2008 hii umenipa tarehe 31. Nafikiria hakukuwa na vita ambaye ilikuwa inalenga tena Mkikuyu North Rift. Naongea kuhusu North Rift kwa sababu hiyo ndio mahali nilikuwa. In that 2000, kwa program zozote mimi nimekuwa nikijua vile watu wanaendesha utangazaji. Sitaki kusema sana ndani. Kuko na program ya BBC ambao kuna mtu binafsi anaweza kutangaza kwa BBC. Kwa sababu hata mimi wakati fulani nimekuwa kwa BBC. Na wakati mimi nilipatiana statement yangu mwenyewe, hakuna mahali nilitaja BBC. nilitangaza utangazaji wa moja kwa moja kuhusu Mr. Sang. Kwa hivyo wakati unaniproducia mambo ya BBC, Peace and whatever, just one question. Wakati kina Sang alianza kuitisha amani, was it before the clashes ama ilikuwa after? Hilo ni swali langu la kwanza. La pili nataka kukuuliza, umeniproducia so many videos hapa, zile amenipa. Hizo video zote zilifanyika baada ya vita, na hakuna mahali mimi nimetaja baada ya vita. Yangu yote iko to end of January. Sijapita January kwenda February. So once unaniletea ya 31st January, hakuna mahali mimi kwa statement yangu nimemention 31st January, no. So maswali mengine utaniuliza, na ningeomba koti. Nimeona kuna mambo ambaye sipati kuelewa, kwa sababu pia mimi natakika kupewa haki. Nimeambiwa jambo, umenipa jambo, umeniuliza, ulisema, I have to be given time. Nilisema kwa nini? Kwa sababu unanifix, unaniambia okay, umeona hiyo, ulisema hivi, umeona hiyo, na sipewi nafasi ya kusema. Ninaongezewa mambo juu ya kichwa. Hiki kichwa changu ni cha mwanadamu.
Right.
Pia kina need time. Yeah.
All right. Witness, we will now continue, but you've explained yourself. Remember, Mr. Kigen-Katwa is asking you questions. That's his job. He's doing his job. He's asking you questions, and he will continue. Mr. Kigen-Katwa?
Now, from the explanation you've just given, witness, I wanted to pick up two issues which I'll come back to in a moment. Is it your testimony now that you acknowledge that Sang actually pleaded for peace in February and March 2008?
Sijui. Nafikiria hiyo swali Bwana Kigen, wewe ndio unafaa kusema.
Yes, I have not asked you anything more.
Yeah. Wewe ndio unafaa kuniambia liita lini, kwa sababu mimi sikusikia.
Witness, wait. No. Witness, as I advised you earlier, you are to listen to the question the lawyer asks and then answer the question to the best of your ability. Do not argue with the lawyer and do not ask him questions back unless you're asking him to repeat, or requesting him rather to repeat his question because you did not understand the question. The system is here to protect you as well, and we are mindful of that. So just listen to the question, understand the question, and then answer it. No arguments and no asking questions back. Thank you.
Now, witness, I want to show you two last summaries that were done by BBC, reflecting the nature and the character of what Mr. Sang used to say at the station. And this we will take a sample of the 24th January 2008. Your Honours and the prosecution, the reference is OTP-0048-0126-133, and I would request the court officer's assistance to pass over the document to the witness. Now, witness, you can see the part in the middle of the page marked Kenyan U.S. Ambassador, listeners discuss crisis on vernacular radio. You can see that, witness.
Ndio.
Now, witness, this is a broadcast where Mr. Sang was interviewing the U.S. ambassador, and I'll just read the first 3 paragraphs, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions. This is what went on. KAS FM, this is the summary from BBC, it summarizes. KAS FM, which broadcasts in Kalenjin vernacular, on 24th January, hosted U.S. Ambassador Michael Ranneberger on its morning talk show. The ambassador appealed to listeners to keep peace and assure them that USA would push for justice and truth, in quotes. In its effort to end the political crisis that began after President Mwai Kibaki was declared winner of 27 December 2007 elections, the show was hosted by presenter Joshua Arap Sang. And this is what Sang is quoted as having said. First of all, I apologize, I should state this. Following is the text of an interview in English as broadcast by privately owned KAS FM radio on 24th January. Subheading inserted editorially. And this is what Mr. Sang said. We want to welcome each and every one of you listeners, wherever you are, tuned to KAS FM Nairobi and KAS FM Washington, D.C. This is another program that we are bringing you from Nairobi studio. My name is Joshua Arap Sang, and with me this morning is His Excellency, the Ambassador of the United States of America, Michael Ranneberger. We wish to welcome you to meet and talk to our Kalenjin people here in Rift Valley and in diaspora through the internet. Welcome. Then Ranneberger says this. Thank you very much. Chamge Kotap Kalenjin. Greetings, House of Kalenjin. It is good to be with you this morning. Sang, welcome. Thank you very much for making it to be with us this wonderful morning. We will have listeners from Kenya, UK, USA, China, and all the countries. They will be on the program as they will be talking to us through mail as they ask their questions. We wish to welcome you to our studio this morning. Major problems, in quotes, with Ford counting. The current situation in this country has required us to have you with us so that we can discuss any issues that are happening in this country of ours. Maybe the first question to discuss, Your Excellency, is do you believe the elections were done, the general elections of 27th of last year, that is December, were free and fair? The Ambassador Ranneberger. Well, first of all, let me say that I am really, really happy finally to be sitting here with you, Joshua, who is a true legend in Rift Valley and way beyond Rift Valley. And then Sang says, thank you. Then Ranneberger says, I would say on elections that clearly there were major problems with the Ford counting. The actual election process on the 27th was a very good process. People voted in record numbers, and it was really an excellent model of democracy. The problem developed in the Ford counting after elections took place. The Ford tallying process was not transparent, and it was not accountable. So it was seriously flawed. And because of that, we have said that there needs to be a political solution to the problems that have developed as a result of the Ford counting. No matter who won, about half of the people voted for Raila and about half of the people voted for Kibaki. And so we have been telling Raila and President Kibaki that they need to sit down together and work out a solution that will reflect the Kenyan people want. That is what we are expecting to happen. That is what we are expecting to happen. And the visit of Kofi Annan right now is an opportunity to start that process. Witness, you can see that, isn't it?
Nimeona.
Now, the first question I want to ask you, Witness, is did you listen to Sang's broadcast as summarized by BBC on the 24th of January 2008?
Sikusikia.
And Witness, I want you to look at the first page, the second paragraph, where it says, following is the text. Can you see that, Witness? If the court officer probably could assist so that we move faster. Now, Witness, I will read what you can see there. Can you see where it says, following is the text of the interview in English as broadcast on privately owned Kass FM radio on the 24th January, subheadings inserted editorially. Can you see that, Witness?
Ndio.
Mr. President, there is no interpretation. I can ask the question again if it's necessary.
Can we agree that she said yes?
I heard yes. I trust the prosecution. Do not dispute.
I heard yes in Kiswahili. That's probably the only word I understand. Deal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, Witness, do you know this gentleman by the name Michael Ranabaga?
Nafikiria mtafsiri wangu atafsiri vizuri. Runbag. Namjua.
You know him as what person, Witness, as a 2008 February, January?
Namjua alikuwa ambassador wa Amerika.
Now, to the best of your recollection, do you remember him making a couple of visits to the showground, Eldoret, when IDPs were camped there?
Ndio. Ndio.
Interpretation should be yes, yes. She said it twice. And I'll proceed. Witness, do you recall him coming with Mr. Joshua Arap Sang to visit the IDPs at the Eldoret showground?
Nafikiria wakati Ranberg alikuja mara ya kwanza, alikuja na watu wengi sana.
Witness, please.
Na kwa hivyo mimi sijui kama Arap Sang alikuwa, mimi sikumuona. Lakini niliona Ranberg na tulikuwa na haja ya kusikia vile Ranberg atatuambia kuhusu maisha yetu. Hata watu wa Citizen walikuwa pia. So sio media moja ilikuja ya Kass FM. Tulikuwa na media nyingi zilikuja na Mr. Ranberg.
Now, witness, I understand you to be saying that Mr. Ranberg came there more than once, and he used to come with a number of people, and some of the people were Kass FM. But having said that, witness, my question still remains. Do you recall Mr. Sang having come with Mr. Ranberg to visit the IDPs at the IDP camp Eldoret?
Sijui kumuona mimi.
And are we to understand you to be saying that there were so many people who came there that you are unable to know whether or not Mr. Sang came, or are you saying that to the best of your knowledge, Mr. Sang did not come there?
Nafikiria nimekujibu vizuri. Nimekwambia mimi sijui kama Sang alikuweko. Maana yake nikisema najua alikuweko, sikumuona. Nikisema najua alikuweko, nitakuwa na maanisha nilimuona, sikumuona.
Now, witness, the only reason why you could not have seen Mr. Sang with Mr. Ranberg is because, as you are already shown, you in fact were not at the showground, isn't it?
Na nataka nikuelezee, anikuulize sikuona nani. Anyway, sijui nitakujibu nini, kwa sababu imeambiwa nisikuulize swali. Kama ningekuwa na nafasi ya kukuuliza swali, ningekuuliza.
Don't ask him question. When he says something like that to you, you have the opportunity to disagree with him if you do not agree with him. And if you agree with him, then you can say, yes, I agree. So that's the only thing you should do in the face of a question like that. So he is saying that the reason you did not see Mr. Sang come to the showground with Mr. Ranberg was because you were not at the showground. Do you agree that that's the case?
La, nimekataana na yeye.
The last question I want to ask you on this transcript, on this summary witness, is what I just read to you, saying at paragraph 2, following is the text of the interview in English as broadcast on privately owned KAS FM. Witness, can you see that in fact the KAS FM used to broadcast in English sometimes?
Naona.
And witness, it is true that you never used to listen to KAS FM, because if you used to listen to it, you would have known that it broadcasted in Kalenjin, Kiswahili, and English. And your allegation that it broadcasted only in Kalenjin is because you never listened to it, and you just concocted the story that you used to listen to it.
Do you agree with that? If you agree, you say you agree. If you don't agree, you tell him you don't agree.
Sikubaliani na wewe hata kidogo.
Now, I want to show you the last summary, and then we leave the issue of BBC. And that summary is a summary of the 18th of January 2008. And the reference is, could I request for the assistance of the court officer to hand over as I read the reference? The reference is OTP-0048-0118 to 0119. Now, witness, you can see that document with the heading, Kenya Vernacular Radio Presenter urges listeners not to join opposition protests. You can see that, witness.
Naona.
Witness, I'll read the summary of what BBC says, and then I'll ask you the first question. The entire 18th January breakfast show between 7 and 9 on vernacular KAS FM radio, which broadcasts in Kalenjin, was dedicated to prayer and Bible reading with Psalms 27. The presenter Joshua Arab sang, read verses, and even allowed one caller to read a Bible verse live. He urged listeners to pray.
Mr. King, can you remember to slow down?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will. He urged the listeners to pray and also prayed on air, which is uncharacteristic, imploring listeners to not to engage in mass action today, saying he had a feeling something bad would happen. The radio station's news bulletin at 8 a.m. said there was great fear in Eldoret after previous day's incident in which tear gas was thrown into the Eldoret Teaching and Referral Hospital during a clash between the General Service Unit paramilitary police and ODM protesters. BBC monitoring observed KAS FM radio to support opposition Orange Democratic Movement, which was widely supported by the Kalenjin ethnic community in 2007 general election. Following is the text of breakfast show broadcast between 4:00 and 6:00 GMT by Kenyan Kalenjin language privately owned KAS FM radio on 18th January. You can see that, witness.
Meona.
Now, witness, did you listen to Mr. Sa? Did you listen to? May I apologize for the offer? Now, witness, did you listen to CAS FM on the 18th of January 2008?
Ndio. Sorry. Rudia hilo jibu. Swali.
My question, witness, is whether you listened to CAS FM on the 18th of January 2008.
La.
Lastly, on that summary, I wish to take you to paragraph 3 of that summary. I will request the court officer to point it out to you. Now, witness, before I read to you the second paragraph, I've shown you the heading of that program, being that the BBC summary states that Kenya, vernacular radio presenter urges listeners not to join opposition protest. Witness, do you remember Sang urging people not to come out and...
Mr. KenyaMOJA.com, that is an editorial comment by whoever prepared this. If you want to ask a separate question, you can, but it wasn't right to draw her attention to that subheading before asking that question.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I'll ask the question differently. Witness, do you recall Mr. Sang urging people not to come out and join the protests that had been called by the ODM?
No.
Now, witness, the second paragraph is this effect. Second, I would like to read a statement sent by the police spokesman, Mr. Grede.
Statement sent by the police spokesman, Mr. Grede.
Witness, I'll read slowly. Your voice was audible. I could read slowly so that you're comfortable.
Witness. Witness, can you hear us? We know you are reading. That's all right. But if it is easier for you, you can also have Mr. Kigenkatwa read slowly. He will read with a gentle voice, of course. And then you can follow. But if you prefer to read yourself, you can also do that. But why don't you see if you can follow the text while he reads the passage in question?
I will read very slowly, Mr. President, to accommodate the witness.
Unless if there is another part of the document you also want to read yourself, that also can be done. I notice that very soon we will be going on our morning break. You can do it then.
Mr. President, may I read this very slowly with the witness, and if the witness wants to go somewhere else, then I can leave it at that point for you to be comfortable. Witness, I'm reading the second paragraph slowly. Second, I would like to read a statement sent by the police spokesman, Mr. Kreide. Such incidences leave me at a loss for words. I implore you, Kalenjin people, to pray. If you are going to work or to farm or going about your usual duties, you may go. However, if you do not need to be anywhere, please stay at home. Although in the past, since you voted, you have been told to come out, today I implore you to stay and take time to pray and surrender to God. Pray according to the prompting of your heart. Can you see that, witness?
Ndio.
And having taken you through all those audios, witness, showing Mr. Sang asking people to be calm and to remain peaceful, asking people not to come out to demonstrate, you say you never had any of those things.
Sikusikia mimi.
Now, witness, so that it is possible to appreciate that you used to listen to KSFM, could you pick out a date? You said you used to listen to KSFM January, February, March. Could we pick, for instance, February? What dates can you say you very specifically listened to KSFM Leneme program in February? Give us a date.
Ya mwezi upi, ya mwaka upi?
Witness, we are talking of February 2008.
Nilikwambia ni kuanza hapo tarehe 10. Kabla hatukuwa tumefika tarehe 20. Tarehe 10 hapo ambapo sikumbuki siku na tarehe yenyewe, lakini nakumbuka ni kuanzia tarehe 10. Kwa sababu si tarehe 5, si 6, si 8. Yes, kuanzia tarehe 10 hapo hivi. Na sijaenda mpaka mwisho wa mwezi, sikurudi kusikiza tena. Kama sio tarehe, kumbuke vizuri, mwanzo wa Januari, na sio tarehe 1. Kama nilivyosema, ni kuanzia tarehe 10 hapo. Kumbuka.
Of what month?
January. Ya January 2008, tarehe 10 hapo hivi.
Now, witness, when you said on the 6th of March 2014 that it was February, it was end of January or early February, are you saying that was inaccurate?
Ni ukweli.
It is true, witness, as you said on Thursday, that it was end of January, either end of January or early February, isn't it?
Nafikiria hapa kuna maswali mawili ambaye unauliza ambaye hayaingii kwa akili yangu kabisa. Ni swali lipi lenye unataka ni kujibu, kwa sababu sielewi umenipa tarehe fulani, ni tarehe ipi ambaye unataka, ama ni jibu gani unataka nilijibu?
Witness, on the 6th of March 2014, the prosecution asked you, we start with page 10, the question, the word quicker. Can you tell us what that means? And then you said it is grass that grows in the field. Then at line 17, you said, Sang said the word punyat. That is in Kalenjin. Then at page 9, you said that Mr. Sang was saying that work had been done properly, but it wasn't finished in Molo and in Kericho. Then at page 11, you were now asked to put a time frame to what you're saying, and the question was, I will repeat my question. Can you recall what days or around what time of the year you heard Mr. Sang talking? And at line 16, you said towards the end of January or early February, if I am not mistaken. And a reference was also made to your statement, paragraph 111 at line 6. Mr. President, I would like to leave that issue there. If I have 5 minutes, I could just do an introduction of the next segment, and then I can deal with the substance of it when we come back.
Why don't we take the break now? You can do that when we come back.
I'm obliged, Mr. President.
Yes, let's take the morning break. We'll bring the blinds down to usher the witness out of the courtroom. Blinds down first.
And Mr. President, I will want to correct the transcript.